Hey, legend. Welcome back to part 4 of this mindset series where we're giving away this training for free that other coaches charge you thousands of dollars for. So if you haven't started at the beginning of the series, make sure you click the playlist link in the description and start from the beginning. So I want to just go over something before we jump into the content. When I first started coaching, I went from being an employee as a massage therapist, and I had been an employee my whole working life, to start actually owning my own business and running my own coaching business. This is a huge shift in your identity, and your habits and decision-making processes must change. So I'm going to chat to you about this, and it no longer becomes about doing the bare minimum without getting in trouble like you do on the hour by hour wage. All of a sudden things start to shift, and it becomes more about the more that I put in, the more I get out. So I wanted to show you these shifts that I had to make when I started my coaching career, and this really allowed me to scale to 10K per month into a new version of myself that could earn that amount of money, and I did it in less than 3 months beginning. So check this out, I'm not holding anything back. Number 1 is identity. Your identity must change. So the limits you think are the limits that need to change. So whatever you think is you can do is there's never the maximum you can do. You can always do more. It's probably like 0.01% of the total amount that you're actually capable of doing. So I needed to get away from the identity of me that earns 0 to 4K per month as an employee and toward the version of me that earns $10,000 per month by myself. These are the shifts that I had to make. So I focused on developing the character that has earned what I want to earn out of life. I started believing I was a 6-figure earner before I did it, and I lived in congruence with what people that earn that are doing with their time, because money gets attracted to something of equal vibration. That's where it gets attracted towards. I stopped settling for people that didn't respect themselves, because money flows to people that respect their time and their energy. And I stopped making excuses for the, behavior of others. So I stopped taking responsibility for how other people behaved, and I included their emotions. And I stopped identifying myself with the emotional responses I got from people. And I started saying, that's just them, that's okay. So number 2 was habit changes. I got rid of the habits of a 0 to 4K per month person and business owner, and I installed the habits of a 10K per month business owner. I stopped going to bed just whenever I ended up there. I stepped into cause for asserting my boundaries about that. I stopped waking up at irregular times because it created inconsistent results in the day. Because when you wake up, whenever you wake up, then you just get out of the day whatever you can get out of it. And that's not a successful strategy. So a successful strategy is deciding when I'm going to bed and then when I'm waking up. So there is a reason why most people are not successful, because it takes this kind of self-work and ownership. Now, I stopped wasting energy on flings and non-committal relationships and people that weren't serious about me. I took their behavior as truth, not their words. I stopped listening to nice words, and I just listened to how people responded in their behavior. And that's what I judged people on. So I stopped using outside influences to moderate my mood. I set up daily rituals to hold the framework for the energy I needed to make my dreams actually happen. I destroyed the thinking of, more hours. If I work more hours, I will be more successful. And I started thinking about, okay, how do I spend my time on the 20% of things that create 80% of the results that I want? Because most of the time in business, it's not just enough to take action. You could be doing figure eights. You've got to be spending your time on the most important, highest value things. I stopped eating whenever I had time, and I realized that if I have no health, I have no energy. If I have no energy, my business dies. So I realized that investing in my health is one of the most important things that I can do. Number 3 is the decision-making processes and changing how I made decisions. So I stopped having a horizon that was 1 inch far, like one day ahead, and started thinking about second, third, fourth order of consequence of my decisions, like we mentioned in past parts of this training. What is the second and third thing that rolls on after I make a decision? So I got a lot better results from doing that. I never thought about the consequences of my actions before this stage, ever. I was always at the effect saying, oh my God, why do all these things just happen to me? I'll just do what I can. Instead of just driving for my best and taking that ownership of saying, okay, this thing happened, like how do I actually change it for next time? I dedicated to stop just posting inconsistently and hammering DMs and just messaging loads of people in an unstructured way in my business without measuring any feedback. I didn't measure any feedback before I was making 10K per month or taking ownership of improving systems because I was scared. What if I take full ownership and it still doesn't work? But the thing is, it doesn't work unless you take full ownership. So these are the 3 areas. Now, without having ownership and complete understanding of these 3 areas and having a good system to really like make change happen in them, you cannot have the 2 most important currencies that create change, which are energy and focus, concentration. The concentrated will is the most important thing. Focusing on one thing until it's completed is the most important thing in your business. The level of energy and focus you have from the time of when you launch your business, like you blast off, start to take action, to the moment where you break through into the stratosphere, you break through into space, where you want your dream life, is literally hinged on the level you are at cause for these 3 areas of life: identity, habit, and decision-making processes. Have you ever taken massive action in your business? Have you ever noticed that when your thoughts, words, or habits, meaning when your identity was off, when you thought bad things about yourself, when your habits, you were doing things that weren't good for you, and when your decisions were not conducive to changing in a positive way, did you notice that when you had those 3 parts off, it decreased your energy? Did you notice that? When your energy was down, what happened to your clarity and your focus and what happened there? It went down as well. So when your energy and your clarity, your focus was down, where did the results go? Down the toilet. So if that's true, then that reinforces why energy and focus are the 3 most important things and why identity, habit, and decision making is the most important 3 aspects to work on to create success. So it all comes down to having a clear, bright horizon ahead of you, having a clear understanding of where am I going in life and why do I want that? So it has to be backed up by clear words, clear habits to support the horizon, good habits. And finally, having congruent habits and having a clear, congruent, good decision-making process behind walking you through the right gate into your dream life. There are so many, what we call in NLP and timeline therapy, which is what I teach, is timelines. There are so many lines that you can walk, timelines, lives that you could walk. From this decision you make now, it will take you in an infinitely different direction. So the higher your energy and focus, the more positive your trajectory. So that's where it calls the right gate comes from that. And your dream life requires the most energy and focus, more than you've had, because the energy focus you have now is what creates your current life. So I think it's important to say that it's so simple to acquire your dream life that a monkey could do it. Think about it. The monkey thinks about a banana, meaning he has an identity that I could get the banana. The monkey makes a sound, meaning words, which are so important in getting your goals. How you use your words, your habits. He gets the banana using his habits. And then he has the banana, which is he acquires the dream through that decision-making process. The key to doing that, to acquiring that dream life and to getting the energy and focus, having ownership over these 3 areas, there's one place that is most important to give you the resources to be able to get all of that. And it's really your energy and your state, and priming that energy, that state, that focus, priming that always for your life, for your business, for your confidence. Whenever you notice yourself slip into the past self, the past operating models, the negative habits that represent your past self, you gotta take yourself into a primed energy state. So usually when I see people reach their goals over the long term, it's because fundamentally they follow what I'm going to go through now. And these are some really, really powerful frames, which we teach in some trainings that we offer. But I want to give them to you now because they're so important, and I couldn't do this without giving you them. Frame number 1 is reasons versus results. In most businesses and enterprises that aren't working, meaning they're not producing money and clients, they're not high performing, there's usually more reasons about why it's not working and less results, which back up that it is working. In business, in performing, in sports, in career, in every area of life, you either have reasons or you have results why you have it. So you have results as to, you say, okay, I get my goals, we get our results, we said we'd get this and now we've got it. Or you have reasons why you didn't get them. And the fact is that results are the only thing that have any meaning in business, any bearing in business. Like, the reasons don't mean anything. If you have a mortgage and you can't pay your mortgage payments, you go to your bank and you say, oh, I couldn't pay it this time. They don't care. So in business, you only have results. They're the only things that matter. Results are the name of the game. If I promise that I can help you get to $10,000 per month in business, I better be able to get you there, because if I can't, my reputation is going to go down because I don't get results. So it's very important that you understand that results are everything. They're the name of the game. Either you get it, what you say you're going to get, or you don't. And then you have excuses. There are no good excuses. Either case, you get to be right. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. When you're not achieving the results you want, be willing to take on feedback. If you're not willing to take on feedback, you cannot change, because feedback represents new information, and you need new information to apply and install to get what you want. So simply reply with thank you for the feedback. Ask for the feedback, thank you very much, no matter what you think inside. So take that feedback inside, integrate it, and take action on it. Never respond to feedback with excuses, because you miss out the most. Okay, frame number 2. There's resistance versus persistence. When you resist something, like a recurring event in your life, it tends not to go away. It tends to persist. Unfortunately, this is the way it works. It's like physically pushing a person. They must push you back. They must push you back to resist from falling over. So literally, if you stop resisting, then whatever you're going through will fall apart. It will fall apart because it integrates inside. Now, resisting learning a new process will literally make it harder, and it will come up more forcefully in front of you. So that's that frame. Frame number 3 is surrender. Now, we hear a lot about surrender, especially if you're a spiritual person. It's not what they say it means. You cannot be coached if you do not surrender to the process, meaning you accept that you don't know everything. That's why you're being coached. It's virtually impossible to coach someone who is not willing to surrender the process, because they keep trying to do what they've always done, and they don't realize that it hasn't worked for them. So you've got to tell them that. There's 2 main possibilities why someone is not surrendering. They think that what they know, like I said, is going to get them the results, which you just need to tell them, look, you haven't got the results yet, so that means what you know isn't enough. So you need to surrender to the process. They think they know it already, so you can't coach them. They think that they do not have the capabilities or the resources to actually learn and be safe to surrender. So arguing with your coach or questioning, how, if you're in a training, or your clients arguing with you, or whatever it is, or you arguing with, I don't like doing this part of business, this is the thing that is the most important to take on. Whatever you argue with is the most important thing in your business to learn. So if they had results, they would already be there. If they knew what they needed to know, they'd already be there. So in business, what you most resist, you must master, because it holds most of your power. So get excited about that, because I really am. And so then delegate it as fast as you can. So frame number 4, responsibility with negative emotions. This is a very interesting frame. Responsibility is a very joyful word because of what it means, its implications. It's not blameful, shameful, it's not a burden, it's not even a sacrifice. So responsibility wants to support. The more responsibility you take, the more support you will get from your surroundings. Most people are worried about not getting hurt and getting hurt than they are about taking responsibility. Most people aren't able to take responsibility without taking blame. Okay, so they feel like they can't take it without taking blame. So to the extent you take responsibility is the extent that the process can work and that you can grow. So if you're feeling bored, frustrated, that means that you're right at the edge of a breakthrough, by the way. If you're ever feeling those negative emotions, use it as a sign that you're going in the right way. So you feel frustrated because you're struggling with a process, great. So you are learning what you need to know. And you reach out for support and move into the next task in the meantime, making a note to come back to it. It's okay, we're in business, it's work. and we love it. So overcoming that obstacle 10 times faster and still making forward progress in your business, so that way you get the feedback. So negative emotions in business is a sign that you don't know something you need to know. Frame number 5, support versus sabotage. Very important frame for you as a coach. In the process of doing something, either you support it or you sabotage it. My opinion is that there's no halfway, there's no land of grey. Anything less than total support is sabotage. Watch out for saying to someone, I will try to complete this task. I will do my best. Watch out for your clients saying this as well. I watched out for, where am I saying I will try to get it done? In my mind, trying automatically includes the possibility of not doing and failing. So the words, like I said, are so important. If you ever really believe that you can't do it 100%, you will decrease the chances that you won't do it. So make sure your words are congruent with what you want and say, I will do this. Then break it down, plan it out. So it may be that you don't want to assume responsibility for your success, and on the flip side, for the failure. So 100% means total support and commitment to oneself. That means total support. So you'll know that you're sabotaging if you partially complete tasks, don't complete them at all, or don't ask people for feedback on how to do it better. You can always ask me, right? So if you didn't have someone, you can always message me or book in for a 15-minute session and we can just chat about it as long as I'm free. Now, the next frame is by far the most important frame of the whole training. And it's that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. So this is a very important frame. The most common temptation we see new coaches make on their way to 10K months and success is that they get given a system, they get given a method. You know, they ask someone that they have a problem in my business. The person gives them something and they don't get results with it straight away. And then they say the system's wrong, it doesn't work, or I can't make it work, or I'm wrong, or I don't know how to do it. And they try something else. How is it possible, though, that some people get results with a system and others don't? Is it personal? Is it actually to do with limiting decisions? Is it just that it wasn't the right system, the system's broken, but other people get results, so it can't be the system? It has to be something else. I've noticed that there's two groups of people that come through our programs, the 7-figure coach and the 0-figure coach. As in, the person that believes that they are a 7-figure coach and the person that believes that they're a 0-figure coach, they travel two paths and they end up in very different places. And I can tell you exactly where the split in that road happens because they start in the same place. So one is they get taught a system, they attempt to apply the system, they get feedback highlighting where they need to grow, either from taking action or from a mentor or something. They don't ask questions. This is the 0-figure coach path. They don't ask questions to develop the strategies on how to integrate the feedback and then get better at getting results. So they take action less time because they remember themselves failing. Then eventually they stop taking action. They blame the system or the coach or something outside them. And then they have reasons as to why it didn't work. Now, the 7-figure coach is a very different path, but it's the same first 3 steps. They get taught the system just like the 0-figure coach. They attempt to apply the system, just like the 0-figure coach. They get feedback highlighting where they need to grow. Then they ask questions about the application of the feedback to the coach, right? They integrate the new knowledge, the answers of the coach, and they develop strategies to take action on. If they don't know the strategies, they ask the coach. So the key here is what? It's asking questions. Asking questions to fill in the gaps in the knowledge. It's nothing to do with you. You haven't got stuff that you need to heal. You just need to learn knowledge. That is the appropriate knowledge to getting your goals. So then they improve their results. They take greater action because they're more motivated. They have a better operating model. They get better results. They're more motivated to take better action. They create greater results. They enjoy results, and they don't need to say a word. And proves that they can make it work for them. That's the 7-figure coach path. So everybody out there takes one step. It's the same first step. It's the same first 3 steps. We all travel the same first 3 steps. I'd said in the other video, I started off out with a specific coach friend of mine. We'd never been coaches before. He's now on $10,000 or $5,000 to $10,000 per month after about 18 months, and I'm on $50,000. How is that possible? because we both did different things when we got to step 3. The temptation when we see something not to work is to take it personally, feel those negative emotions and make a decision to avoid them. That's what usually people do. The grass is not greener on the other side with some other client acquisition framework or better clients. It's not just about getting better clients. The grass is greener where you water it. Where things don't work is where you need to get better. So that's the end of this. I'd like you to print off this 7-figure coach path and put it on your wall. You know, you've got me, ask questions. Ask questions. We provide this support to people that follow us for sure, as much as we can. Ask in the comments, we'll get around to answering them. And we've got dedicated coaches to help you if you want to get on a session and actually talk to someone. I'll see you in part 5 of the series where I go over the 5-figure sales mindset. Playlist is in the link below. Have a beautiful day. I will see you soon.